What's going on? Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Risen Fallen podcast. I'm your host, Mark Hendrickson. And if you haven't seen this podcast before, what you can expect is some open and authentic conversations about things like mental health, self-development, and how to get your life back on track, how to get it in a direction that you feel confident about, that you feel like moving forward, you're moving in the right direction. And if you have heard this podcast before and you're coming back to support, then thank you very much. Whether you've heard about this podcast before, you've listened to it before, you haven't listened to it before, you are the reason that I do what I do. Yes, you listening to this right now or watching this. If you're watching the YouTube version of this, then thank you very much for supporting this. We're not just a podcast here. We do have the mental health group as well. So we like to try and create a little bit of community and provide a little bit of connection for people that, kind of feel like no matter what, they're going through, they're alone, that nobody really feels like them or sees the world the way they do or deals with the same struggles or problems that they do. Trying to create a little bit more connection with those people and allow them to meet other people and just kind of find mentors out there. And then the people that have kind of, lifted themselves up, providing an opportunity for you to lift others up as well. And then we do have meetups. We do that in the form of going for hikes. We went skating last week. We go for coffee all the time. And we just kind of create a place where people can kind of meet, connect, chill out, and spend your Sundays well. We usually do it on a Sunday morning or afternoon and just kind of meet up and chill. And then if you want to support that, you want to support the podcast, obviously we do have the merch as well, the Risen Fallen hoodies and tees. Which obviously the proceeds go towards paying for those types of things. So it's kind of a little community that we built right now, and I'm excited to be a part of it. And that's kind of the coolest thing about it is that, it's just a community of people that just want to basically be friends and chill and do cool shit and have good conversations. And if you're down for that shit, then shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'll get you involved in the group. When we don't meet up, when we don't have in-person meetups, we do a Zoom call and just kind of recap the week and just kind of chat about, what we've been through the past week or maybe something that's on our mind or something that we're proud of, something maybe like a win or something like that. And just kind of, like I said, build that connection that way. So it's pretty cool that way because, one of the benefits is it allows us to view our struggles as something other than just struggles or downfalls in our lives. It allows us to view our struggles as strengths. And that's what I wanted to chat about today. I wanted to chat about the fact that our struggles are our strengths. Everyone's kind of gone through their own thing. Everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own shit that they're trying to overcome. And I feel like a lot of us, we think about these things as things that hinder us, whether you've been through a traumatic experience in the past, whether you deal with depression, whether you deal with anxiety, whether you, I don't know what kind of things you've been through. I can just only speak from my experience growing up with depression and growing up with anxiety and growing up, not really feeling comfortable in my own skin. And obviously there's been different traumatic experiences. I've always thought of these things as things that hinder me, things that are going to stop my progress or at least slow it down. And I've realized, in my own journey that the struggles that I've been through and the issues that I face, the dilemmas that I face in life are what give me purpose. They're those things that, when I think about, when I'm super depressed, when I'm super anxious, when I feel like giving up, when I feel like there's no hope left in life, I think about that feeling. And then I think, someone else out there is feeling like that. And that's the reason I started this podcast. That's the reason I started the community that we built. And it's the reason that I get up and keep fucking pushing to do it more and more and more. Because I think, as bad as I feel right now, someone out there feels like this or worse. And I want to try and help alleviate that feeling for somebody else. And I'm sure that, a lot of the things that you've been through, if you're listening to this, I feel like maybe you feel like it's unfair. Like there's no good that could come of it. Like maybe you've lost a family member or a friend, um, or maybe you've been through another traumatic experience that it just feels unfair and it feels like there's no real good that can come of it. And I just want you to understand that, you know, having these struggles, having these problems in our lives, if nothing else, obviously they make us stronger and they make us more formidable against, future issues that we're going to face, the obstacles that we're going to face, the curveballs that life's going to throw us. Obviously, the struggles that we go through right now are going to strengthen us and make us more formidable against those things in the future. Whether we face a similar situation or a different situation altogether, it's like, hey, you can draw back and think, well, I overcame this in the past. And it might not feel like you overcame it. It might feel like you're still suffering from it. But it's like, no, you're still here to fight another day. You still survived that thing. And so you can survive this thing too. But a lot of the time, we feel like it's unfair. We feel like there's no good that could come from it. And I'm here to tell you today that your struggle is your strength. However, there is a catch. When these traumatic things happen to us, regardless of what it is, whether it's, like I said, excuse me, regardless of what happens to us, whether it's like a traumatic experience or maybe it's a mental illness or something else that you've fucking been dealing with. I don't know your story. But I'm happy to help you share it if that's what you'd like to do. Regardless of what it is, if we sit and we dwell and we just fucking tell people, hey, I just need fucking time to dwell on this, and, you fucking wallow around in self-pity and you just fucking feel bad, like, fuck, I've been there before, so don't fucking feel bad if that's you right now. Just understand that the only way that you can turn that struggle into a strength is to understand how deeply it impacted you, why it deeply impacted you, and dive into that. Sometimes we can't think about why it happened, and there's no way to, reverse these things, and there's no way to prevent these things sometimes, because sometimes they just fucking happen. And you can't control life, you just control how you react to it. And so to dive into why it impacted you, not to why it happened, even though that could have some positive benefits in it too sometimes, because sometimes these things are avoidable, but to dive into why it impacted you and how it impacted you, and to do a deep dive of your own emotions and do that dirty work, that nitty gritty work, that painful work that nobody really wants to do, that point, that work that we're trying to avoid. And I'm victim to that as well. Like, I try and avoid things all the time when I, like a lot of the time, time in my life has been dedicated to trying to avoid pain. Whether I spend that time working or working out or just trying to run from my demons, I had to think about, why am I doing this? Why am I, why am I working out all day? Why am I working all day? Why am I trying to escape these feelings? And then when I do that deep inner work, whether it comes through the form of journaling or reading or meditating or doing this podcast and listening back to my own thoughts, then it makes the work and the workouts and all of those other things, instead of a tool to escape the pain, it's a tool to transform the pain and then to lead by example and to set that example for other people as well. And so maybe this gives you a little bit more insight into why I do what I do, but maybe it gives you a little bit of an insight and motivation and inspiration to do this for yourself as well, to do that deep dive into yourself and figure out what pain you're dealing with right now, or what pain you're escaping, or what pain you're trying to avoid feeling, and how it impacted you and why it impacted you so deeply. Because you could be the hero for someone else's story where they're going through something similar as well. I read a quote today on Instagram where it basically said, we spend our childhood waiting for someone to come and save us, not knowing that that is our future self. And to kind of be that person for yourself. But to also, I'll take it a step further and to be that person for somebody else as well. The point of all of this suffering, if you want to find some silver lining in it, is to lift yourself up and to strengthen yourself so that you can lift other people up as well. your struggle, your obstacles that you're facing are your biggest assets. Another clip that I saw on Instagram today was a clip of somebody interviewing Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the interviewer basically asks, like, what is the difference between somebody who has that drive, somebody that grinds and becomes exceptional, and your average person? And he says that, growing up with a happy lifestyle, with all this balance in your life, it creates a balanced person. And even though it's not impossible, it's extremely difficult for an exceptional, outcome to come from a balanced beginning. And when we go through these turmoils early on in life, it's our biggest motivators to not have that repeat, or to not have that repeat for our children or your friends or the next generation. And sometimes it takes that pain, that adversity or that struggle to create something huge and inspirational and exceptional and extraordinary. And so just understand that if you're in the point in your life where you're still feeling that pain, you're still feeling like you're having to overcome something, that is what's going to push you on to the next stage of your life. And that's what's going to make you into the person that can transform yourself and can transform other people as well. I think that's pretty much it. So your struggle can be your biggest asset. It can be your strength. But you're going to have to go and face those demons and do that deep inner work, that painful fucking work, to get to the next level and to be able to help dig yourself out of that hole, and then turn around and look back and lend a helping hand to the next person that's trying to get out of that hole as well. So that's pretty much it. It's fucking Thursday. We're leading into the weekend right now, and so we're going to have, obviously, our mental health meetup. So message me right now on Instagram, @RisenFallen, to see what we're doing this week. And, get involved. Get chatting with me. And, maybe share your story. Maybe fucking tell me about what you're going through right now. And I can kind of share that maybe anonymously if that's what you're more comfortable with the podcast. And then more people can be helped overcoming, more people, how should I say this? More people could be helped in overcoming the adversity that you're going through right now. And that's pretty much it. So happy Thursday, short little episode for you. Hope it sets some motivation into your life and gets you going in the right direction. That's all I got for today. Enjoy your weekend. Much love and peace out. I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.